So, you want to build a real writing career, but you have no idea where to even start? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down that entire process into a clear, actionable path that you can literally start today. Let's dive in.
This is the big question, right? It feels so overwhelming, like you're staring at a giant mountain with no trail. But what if I told you it all boils down to understanding just two fundamental concepts?
And yeah, that's the whole idea here. We're going to completely demystify that starting line, because once you really get these two concepts, you'll have the foundation for pretty much every single successful writing career out there.
All right, let's jump right into part one. We're talking about the core skill. It's time to finally understand the fundamental difference between content and copy, the two powerful engines that drive all professional writing.
Okay, first up, content writing. The best way to think about this is as the long game. Its goal isn't to make a sale right now. Nope. It's all about building a connection, a relationship with an audience over time by giving them something genuinely valuable.
So look, it all starts with informing, educating, or maybe entertaining your audience. When you do that over and over again, you naturally start to build trust and authority. And that's why the real keyword for content is relationship. You're not asking for the sale, you're building that connection with things like blog posts and helpful guides.
And this analogy is just perfect. The content writer is that super helpful guide, just giving away awesome advice for free. They're not pushing for your credit card yet. They're earning your trust by just being incredibly helpful.
Now, let's flip the coin and look at the other side, copywriting. This is a whole different beast. It's all about persuasion and getting immediate results. Copywriting has one single mission: to get the reader to do something specific right now.
And here's where you see the huge difference. Copywriting is all about driving sales and conversions. The keyword flips completely from relationship to action. This is that focused, punchy language you see in ads, on product pages, basically anywhere a click or a purchase is the end goal.
So going back to our travel agency, the copywriter is the person at the counter. They can see that you trust the guide's advice, and now they're making a direct ask. So, you ready to do this? Sign here. That's the moment of conversion.
You know, if you only remember one thing from this whole section, make it this. Content builds the foundation of trust, copy makes the direct ask for the sale, and you absolutely need both to succeed.
This table just lays it all out, side by side. Think about a customer's journey, right? First, they find your content, that really helpful article on the 5 best trekking boots. That builds the relationship. Then, once they're convinced, they land on the copy, the product page that says, "Buy these boots now." See? One builds the trust, the other drives the action.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's get into part 2 and see how this actually turns into something you can use. It's time to go from learning to doing and create your very first portfolio piece without needing a single client.
All right, here is your first practical exercise. I want you to literally just grab any simple product around you. A pen, a bar of soap, whatever. We're going to write a tiny little content piece and a tiny little copy piece for it. This is how you start building a portfolio from absolutely nothing.
So, for our example, I'm just going to use a simple bar of handmade soap. The first task is content. Your job is to write a 50-word intro for a blog post that's meant to inform and educate the reader.
Now listen to how this works. See how it opens with a question that hits a really common pain point? Tired of dry, irritated skin? Then it explains the problem, those harsh chemicals. It's not trying to sell anything. Instead, it promises valuable information. You're going to discover a better way that can transform your skin. That is pure content writing.
Okay, now for task number 2. We're switching hats. You're not the helpful educator anymore, you are the salesperson. Your goal is to write a 50-word product description that convinces someone to buy this exact bar of soap. See the difference? It's huge, right? This is all about the benefits, getting soft and refreshed skin. It uses this amazing sensory language like handcrafted in the Himalayas. And most importantly, it ends with a direct, impossible-to-miss call to action. Add this natural luxury to your cart today. That is pure copywriting.
So, you've practiced the skill. Now for the part we've all been waiting for. How does this actually make you money? Let's move to part 3 and connect these new skills directly to a paycheck.
Imagine you're scrolling through a job board and you see this. Because you've done the work, a light bulb goes off. You immediately know what they need.
They don't just want a writer, they specifically need a content writer.
And bam, here are the magic words for your proposal. You're not just saying, hey, I can write. You're speaking their language, showing them you get the real goal of their project. Then you attach your little soap blog intro as a perfect sample.
Okay, now let's say you see this job post. Again, you know exactly what this client is after. This isn't about building long-term trust. This is about driving sales, right now. They need a copywriter.
So your proposal changes to match. You present yourself as a specialist who understands conversion. You're talking about turning browsers into buyers. And of course, you attach your SEO product description to prove you can do it. You're no longer a generalist, you're an expert.
And that brings us full circle to the complete career path, all laid out right here. It's a simple, repeatable process. You start by learning the core skill. Then you apply it to create portfolio pieces that actually prove you can do the work. And finally, you monetize that skill by targeting the right clients with the right language. Learn, apply, monetize. That's the path.
So now you've got the foundation, but just knowing the difference between content and copy is really only the beginning. What's the #1 skill that clients really want to see? The one thing that makes sure your articles actually get seen by thousands of people? We'll cover that crucial piece of the puzzle in our next explainer.